All right, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to the Crown E-League. Today, we're here for the Group 1 race once again on this channel, and today, we're here at the Sochi Autodrome Circuit in Russia for the Russian Grand Prix. This is round 2 of this championship, and today, we're here for the Group 1 live stream. Thank you so much for joining us so far. Leave a like if you're enjoying the stream so far. Subscribe to see more content on the Crown E-League, and let's get straight into the action here today in Russia. So, first off, let's talk about this track itself and exactly where we are. Well, we're here in Sochi, Russia, and a quick fact about Sochi, it's located just off the Black Sea in southern Russia. And another quick fact on Sochi is that it hosted the 2014 Winter Olympics, and it was actually hosted where this track actually stands. In terms of the track, we got 18 turns to make up a circuit length of 5.8 kilometers. That's 3.6 miles long. There's 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking, but if these conditions stay in the Grand Prix, we won't most likely have those conditions. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all works out, as overtaking is really strong for around here. There's a long DRS straight down to turn 2. It's a really long one where we can see drivers taking up all that slipstream from the car ahead to try and make a good overtake into the first heavy braking zone. And then there's another one in between turn 10 and turn 13. That's a great place to make an overtake as well. So we could see some great overtaking opportunities for a lot of these drivers here today. But as I said earlier on, if these conditions stay in the Grand Prix, we most likely will not be seeing any DRS. But we'll see how it all works out. We'll find out what the conditions are like in the Grand Prix itself. So, today is the Group 1 stream of the Crown E-League. Like I did mention, we're here at the Russian Grand Prix round 2 of this championship event in the comms booth. For today's race is myself, Formula Jonah, bringing you all the action from the Crown E-League here today. We got 11 minutes and 40 seconds remaining of the qualifying session here today, and right now, NRL lead the times right now with a 1:45.0 for Russell right now. Now, NRL need a good race today if they're able to take the lead from LFR in the Constructors' Championship, of course. So we'll see how that all works out. But as I did mention, Russell has the fastest time, a 1:45.015. That is the fastest lap time, and that currently goes to NRL. So, in terms of the championship right now, we got a really close championship. Of course, we're only one race into this. We're now coming into the second one, so we don't really know exactly what the championship's going to be like, but I can already tell we're going to get a really close one. Now, LFR had a brilliant race last time out in Bahrain, and that was a brilliant race as well. You guys can go check out that live stream on this channel, so definitely go do that. It was a very exciting Grand Prix. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, LFR had a great result. They got the win last time out. So great to see LFR on top, and they're going to be looking to get a good result here today, as they'll be looking to extend their championship lead off of their rivals. Now, as I did mention, NRL need a good performance in today's race as well to take the lead off of LFR, and currently they set the fastest time at this moment. So we'll see how that all works out. Some other teams I think that will be looking to get a good result is FMSL. They'll be looking to get some good points in today's race to be able to get a strong race. CPI, they need a good result in today's race as well. We can see how they turn out. Of course, they have some really strong drivers. I think they have they can have a great race here today. We will see how that all works out. But they need a podium. They have not gotten a podium yet. They need a podium in this season. So we'll see how this all works out. Of course, Group 1, they've had I'd say pretty mixed emotions, as some of the drivers were doing so well, and then I think it just didn't really work out for a number of their drivers. I know Mr. BT, I think he had like a spin or something like that, or there was contact with another driver. I can't exactly remember, but they need a good result. So we'll see how it all works out. Another team that needs a good result is ADRT, as they didn't really have the best of races last time out in Bahrain. So they're coming into this one looking to get a good result from not scoring, I'd say, the most amount of points that they'd like to. Of course, it wasn't really the best of days for the ADRT team, as a few of their drivers were towards the back of the field and weren't able to score max amount of points. But one of the drivers, DeBlack, was up on the podium, if I'm not mistaken. So great to see that as well from the ADRT team. But they're looking to get a good result. We'll see how that all works out. But you probably guessed it. We're having a lot of rain out on track, I guess. I mean, we're having a lot of difficult conditions for these drivers to cope with, especially in such a difficult circuit like the Sochi Autodrome. Right now, the drivers are on the wet compounded tires. They don't have the intermediates available at this time, of course, because it is too wet out there. So these drivers are having to cope with these difficult conditions, as I had mentioned. So we'll see. We'll see how this all works out for these drivers. Will we switch to the intermediates? Will the rain get a little lighter? It kind of looks like that's the case, and it looks like some of these drivers are struggling with the wet tires, especially getting on the power for a lot of these guys as well. So we'll see what happens. But right now, the wets are the fastest tire, and these conditions are very treacherous out on track. So it looks like one of the other NLR teams were able to get up into P1, so great to see that as well. So NLR looking for a good race in today's Grand Prix, as I had mentioned, but they now have 1 and 2 for the two drivers right now. Very great to see, as one of their drivers has a 144.8, so we've broken into the 144s. Great to see that as well. Only 7 minutes into the session, and we've already gotten into the 144s, and so great to see that, of course. So we'll see what happens, but it looks like LFR sitting 3rd and 4th right now. They need to try and improve on their lap times, I think, to be able to get up there with the NLR cars. They are pretty close, of course. They're 3rd and 4th, so that's looking good for the LFR cars. But if they're going to be wanting to score another pole position in today's race, I think they're definitely going to have to make sure that they keep it consistent and make sure they maybe play the strategy right in terms of when to go out on a different set of compound. Because what I mean by that, guys, is that I think we're going to be seeing the intermediate compound tires come into play in the next 5 minutes or so, I'd say. So we'll see how that works out. But I think it's going to be probably around the 5-minute mark. We're going to see drivers possibly switching to the intermediate compound tires. But the conditions still look pretty dreadful out on track, especially through the exit of turn 13. But it kind of looks like on certain parts of the track that we might just see drivers putting on the intermediate compound tires. And if one driver gets it right, if one team gets it right and says, this is the time to put on the intermediates, they might as well get pole position. Who knows what could happen in today's race? It's going to be a very, very interesting one. So we got 6 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Thank you all so much for joining the session. I saw a few people joining the live stream, so great to see that as well. Send in some comments if you guys have any questions about this upcoming Grand Prix, maybe predictions or just questions for me. If you guys have any questions about the Russian Grand Prix, also in terms of tire strategy as well, definitely send in all your questions down in the live stream comments down below. Also, another thing I'd like to know, I don't really have that information on my screen right now, but I'd like to know what the weather is going to be like for the Grand Prix itself. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it is awful weather on track. I saw a comment that came in that said it was definitely awful weather out on track. It definitely is. It's horrible weather, to be honest, out on track. But maybe we'll see some dry weather in the race. I'm hoping that we do so, because then we'll get some DRS, some overtakes, and I'm sure we'll be getting that already in these dreadful conditions out on track. But we'll see how that works out. I think that turn 2, this corner right here, where the ADRT driver's going through, as he messes up the first corner there, the first heavy braking zone. But it looks like he's not really on a lap right now. But yeah, that first corner, that first heavy braking zone, that's where it's going to be key for drivers to make an overtake. And I think down into the second turn, drivers are going to need to maybe make a lunge on other drivers. But of course, they want to manage it correctly because that turn is super tight. This is the thing with the first heavy braking zone around the Sochi Autodrome. The part of the track where you can make the best overtake would be turn 2, which is the first heavy braking zone. But the problem with that corner is that the game and your thoughts kind of encourage you to try and send it on the other driver, because it kind of looks like you can send it, but you kind of get caught out because the turning is so awkward compared to a normal turn like maybe Bahrain, which, like last time out, we had some great racing into the first turn, into the first heavy braking zone, because it was that type of corner. But this corner is very narrow. It's very kind of unpredictable, and these drivers will have some difficulty going through that first turn. I know from experience driving this track that it is a very difficult corner to get right, even without driving side by side with your rival. So what I'm saying is that I think we're going to see some great action at turn 2, which is the first heavy braking zone. But if drivers are going to send it, or if they're going to go for a risky overtake, they're going to make sure that they need to do it correctly because it is a very difficult corner to manage. Besides that corner, there is another place to make an overtake, and that would be down into turn 13. So we'll see great overtakes there as well. So it looks like the ADRT driver is just coming into the pit lane, and he is the last of the drivers to come into the pit lane because everyone is in the pits right now, except a few drivers coming out on track, and I think they're on the intermediates. They are on the intermediates. So, like I mentioned earlier on, we're going to see it around the 3 to 5 minute mark, drivers possibly switching to the intermediate compound tires. So it looks like that is the case for some of these drivers out on track. They are going on the intermediates. You can already see everyone has basically switched to the inters. So this means this is exactly what we wanted in today's session. This means that we're going to get basically 1, maybe 2 laps of drivers pushing to the absolute maximum to try and get a good lap time. Because the thing is that they've set their lap times on the wets. They're basically only going to have one opportunity to make a good lap time on these intermediate compound tires. And of course, the inters are the faster tire. You're going to be like 5, 10, maybe a second even faster than your previous time on the wet compound tire. So what this does mean is that drivers have just one opportunity to make an overtake. If they screw it up, they could be out of the points, and that could be really, really difficult. That could be really difficult for that team. We will see how that all works out. But what I'm saying is that we're going to get a close qualifying here in Russia to end off the qualifying session and set the grid for the Grand Prix here in Sochi. Okay, so let's take it on board with Cardozo in the LFR car. He has just come out on the intermediate compound tires. He's the first of the first 5 drivers to come out on track. Actually, there might be another driver just ahead of him that's already starting his lap, but he's in the top 5 of drivers to start their laps on the intermediate compound tires. Let's find out how this works out. Let's take it on board with Cardozo as he comes through the final corner now to start his lap with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. So, coming on the power very, very gently as the car can spin off very easily. Now, this is the first turn. It's not even a corner, and I forget every time that that's even turn 1. I always think the first heavy braking zone is turn 1. You're going to go up to around 200 miles per hour. 210 depends on your exits out of the final corner, down into turn 2 in the dry conditions. In these conditions, it's a little bit different in terms of speeds. Now, turn 3, you want to shift it up to 8th as much as possible, and especially in these conditions. 7th is probably the best in the dry conditions, but 8th in this particular session. Down into turn 4, a very difficult braking zone, to be honest. If you go too wide, you can get invalidation, but the car is going to throw you wide. Now, you want to get right between the curb there on the exit of this corner right here, and you want to get so close to the left. These conditions are very difficult, so you want to make sure you put the power on very gently. Now through a really difficult part of the section of the track. If you ask me, of course, it's turn 9 right here. You want to make sure you hit that curb as best as possible. Do not like over jump that curb, because the thing is that you're going to spin the car very easily. Now into the final heavy braking zone before the long straight down to turn 13. I wouldn't call it a full straight, as there's some corners. Through turn 11 and turn 12, down into the heavy braking zone of turn 13, arguably one of the heaviest braking zones on this track. Turn 13, now you want to hit that curb perfectly as you enter the track there into turn 14 and into the most difficult chicane, to be honest, on the calendar, to be honest. It's a very difficult chicane. It's one of the top in terms of difficult chicanes. Now off of turn 16 into the double right-hander of turn 17 and turn 18. You want to hit the curb perfectly as you come into the entrance of turn 17. Shift the car down to 2nd. I like to shift up to 3rd as Cardozo does perfectly. He's going to go fastest overall with a 1:44.5. Very good lap time for Cardozo though, as he puts it fastest for the LFR team. Great to see that. He is the first of the drivers to set a good enough lap time. Dib Black was able to put it P5, but I don't think that's going to be the best lap time for Dib Black, as Hawaii Mave now goes on to provisional pole position at 1:44.3, 2/10 faster than Cardozo's lap time. So it is not going to be Cardozo on pole position, as that is Nathan, who's just gone P4 for CPI. Great to see that from the CPI driver. There's another driver coming across the line. That might be Hida. No, that is not Hida. That is the other CPI driver, I do believe. No, that's Snell actually coming into the pit lane. And there's another driver coming across the line. That is Izo in the ADRT car. He puts it P3. His teammate's just coming across the line, and he's going to put it P9, I do believe. As there goes Epic in the NLR car, puts it fastest overall, and that's all actually a second faster than Hawaii Omave, a 143.3. Very impressive there, as another FMSL car puts it P2. Very good lap time from there, as there goes Lucas Primo up into P2 now. Jom joins Arab in the that's Russell now going P2. A lot of times coming in here as the NLR teams are looking to start on pole position. Jom was looking to take another pole in today's session, but it couldn't have been for the LFR driver. It is going to be Epic in the NLR car that takes pole position. NLR's first pole position with a 143.3. What an incredible lap time for the driver from this team here today. Russell in the second NLR car makes it a front row lockout for the team. Brilliant performance from the NLR team, as Jean will join them in the top 3. I think he was looking to get pole position. He got pole in Bahrain, but he's going to start P3 in Russia, and to be honest, starting P3 is really good for a round here, but what a lap time there from Epic in the NLR car. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing names here. I'm not very good with the names of these drivers here, but what a lap time from NLR as they score the pole position here today. It's a front row lockout for the team, 143.3. That just keeps going in my mind, that lap time there, 0.3 faster than Russell in the second NLR car. Very, very impressive stuff from this team. So that is the grid for the Russian Grand Prix. It is NLR that score 1 and 2 for the team, 143.3 for the driver in P1 and a 143.6 for the driver in P2. Great to see that. And Jean, who took the win last time out in Bahrain, starts P3. FMSL score P4. Great to see that, as well as the FMSL puts it up into the top 5, and it is another NLR car that puts it in P5. Wow. What a race, what a qualifying for the NLR team. They get 3 cars in the top 5. That is super impressive stuff from the team there. They are definitely looking to take the championship over from LFR. LFR need a good result if they're going to be able to stop NLR's dominance in today's race so far. Of course, we haven't gotten to the Grand Prix yet, so we don't know what the race pace is going to be like for a lot of these drivers. The rain conditions are very different to the dry conditions out on track. We will find out how that all works out. But it is NLR that score the fastest lap time and pole position here today. Great to see that, as well as a few drivers are leaving the session. I hope that is they can get back into the session. Hope that's no glitches for those drivers there. But wow, can't believe that lap time from NLR. They are really putting on a great performance in today's race. I think they got a huge chance of taking over the championship and taking a win, taking their first win this season, of course, because LFR took the win with Jum last time out in Bahrain. Now NLR need a good result in today's race in Russia. We will find out how that all works out as we head into the race here at the Sochi Autodrome. Okay, so I think we're just waiting for the grid to get sorted. I'm not sure if this is a glitch or not, but we are waiting here quite long. I hope there's no glitches going on. It looks like Duzel has just left the session. It looks like he's been having a little bit of internet problems, most likely, as he was leaving the session previously. I hope there is no glitches and we won't have to restart the lobby. But sometimes these things do happen, guys. It is a very difficult thing that happens, because these glitches happen quite often, I'd say. It's not something that's rare. It does happen quite often. It's unfortunate to see that. I hope we won't get a restart, as it looks like all these drivers are just waiting on the grid. We're in the loading screen right now. were unable to do anything. I wonder if it's been caused by some of the drivers rejoining the session. Sometimes I know the game can like glitch out if a driver joins during the loading screen or something like that. But right now we are just waiting in this loading screen. Don't know exactly what's going on. So sorry about this, guys, for the technical difficulties. Not exactly sure what's going on, but this is the way it goes, you know, sometimes. It's probably a glitch, though. Ooh, it looks like someone's leaving the session. Could that be our host? I do believe that is our host. Oh, it looks like LFR Jom has just left the session, so that just... Oh, yeah, and it looks like... Oh, interesting. So it looks like a lot of people have left the session. I think we are doing a restart here, guys. So hopefully... I won't have to restart the stream. I may need to restart the stream, though, guys. I'm sorry about that. Don't know exactly if I'll be able to join the lobby without restarting the stream, but it looks like there is a lot of technical difficulties going on with the game. Sometimes this happens, guys. As I mentioned, this is just how it goes. I've commented on so many leagues where these glitches just happen, and it's just how it goes. It looks like it is a dry race, which is good to see. But we will be moving into a new lobby. I'm sure we'll be getting the invites in just a moment's time. And then that does give us a good talking point to talk about because we will be getting a dry race, which is great to see. We're going to get DRS. We're going to get a lot of action, overtaking. It is going to be great to see what the Russian Grand Prix has to offer. But we're going to have to wait just a few minutes for that to happen because we are trying to get everyone back into the new lobby after that glitch. So the admins are doing a great job to set up the lobby, get everyone back in, set the grid, of course. We will not restart qualifying, of course. It will most likely be all these drivers in the same positions. It's just going to be a little bit of a wait until that exactly happens. But I'm trying to get an invite back to the session. I'm sure we will get that in just a moment of time. And I'll try and leave the lobby to do so. Oh, and there's the invite right there. You guys cannot see it on your screen. All right, so I'm leaving the session now. Yeah, guys, apologies for the technical difficulties. Nothing that anyone could have done. It's just how the game works. Sometimes these things do happen. But we got the lobby all sorted. It looks like we're joining the session now. Hopefully I can join. Yes, I can join. Perfect. Okay, so the live stream does not stop. We'll get everyone back into the lobby. You can already see a few people have joined back. So we're just going to wait a few minutes for everything to be sorted out. But while we have the time to... just wait a bit and talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about some other stuff because we have the time at the moment. We have a lot of drivers joining, so we'll probably be around, I'd say, 5 minutes of a wait before we get this race underway. So while that's happening, we can talk about a few things. I think the biggest thing we should talk about, now that we know it is a dry race, we know that for certain, of course, we will get a lot of overtakes down to the first heavy braking zone. And particularly, I want to talk about that start because this track has a very interesting and unique starting to the Grand Prix. And what I mean by that is whoever starts on the second row of the grid most likely will be in contention for P1. I can guarantee that, actually. I think whoever's starting in P3 and P4 most likely will have the opportunity to make an overtake on the drivers in P1 and P2. So the reason why I say that is because the slipstream down to the first heavy braking zone is insane, guys. It is crazy to see the slipstream down to the first heavy braking zone. I think we're going to get a crazy race in terms of the slipstream. I think we're going to get a lot of overtakes, but the first thing to happen is going to be start. The start is all about slipstream, guys. As I had mentioned, whoever starts third and fourth will have the slipstream down to the first heavy braking zone, and then we'll have the availability to try and make the move on the 1 and 2, the drivers in first and second position. We saw it in previous Grand Prix in the real F1. I think the biggest example I can get is Vettel in 2019. He started P3, if I'm not mistaken, was able to get P1 on the first heavy braking zone. He was able to get the jump on Leclerc and Hamilton, I do believe, who was first and second, I do believe. Vettel was able to overtake both of them and get up into P1. So that's just one example. I think Bottas did it in 2017 as well on Vettel, who did it in 2019. So those are just two examples of what I mean by that. So we'll definitely see some great overtakes down into the first heavy braking zone. We will see how that all works out because anything can happen. Maybe someone spins off, and causes some drama, in terms of being able to get that slipstream off of the other driver. It's all just an unknown at this point, but that's a good thing, of course. An unknown is exactly what we want. So right now we have all the drivers joining the session. We have 16 in the session right now. It looks like we're just waiting for everyone to get in, and then we'll get this race underway. Thank you to all the admins that are just dealing with this and getting the lobby all sorted. You guys are incredible. I know how it is because I admin a server myself and sometimes have to deal with these glitches and stuff like that, and it is a really difficult thing to do, but they do persevere to be able to get the lobby up and running. So just credit to these guys. They do a great job. So while they're doing their best, we will talk about a few other things that's going on in the world of Crown E League. We'll talk about the championship. Another thing I want to mention as well is we have a second division that is going up as well. We have the Group 2 live stream. So definitely check that out as well, so you guys can go check that one out alongside the Group 1 race as well. And I'm your commentator, Formula Jonah. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Discord, Twitter, all the social medias you can really think of. And you guys can follow me on that as well. Would highly appreciate you guys doing that. Also, subscribe to the Crown E League to see more content on this league. We got some very exciting racing to come up to. After Russia, we got a few more races that are coming up that I think are going to be really exciting. I think the rest of the season, every single race is going to be exciting. I think the next one after Russia, I'll have to correct myself in just a bit, but I think the next one after Russia should be Spain, I do believe, the Spanish Grand Prix, but I'm not exactly sure on that. I'll have to look at that in just a moment's time. But something I do want to talk about is the standings itself. Thank goodness we have actually a moment to talk about this. I wasn't going to be talking about this too much because we would have too much action out on track. But while we have this moment, I'll quickly talk about that. So the championship standings for Group 1 has LFR Esports up at the top. Now that is to be predicted because of course they scored the most points in the last race in Bahrain. Now NLR are just behind in second place, and the gap between them is pretty close. LFR have 89 points, NLR have 54 points. Now there is a pretty big gap between the two, but NLR are able to, I think, take the lead of the championship today. I mean, they have 3 different drivers in the top 5. That is incredible. I can't believe they were able to do that. So it's going to be crazy to see how that works out. But CPI are just 4 points behind NLR in the championship. So they have a really good opportunity to take the lead of the championship as well. Now, they're not really in the best of positions in terms of the starting grid, but if they maybe take advantage of a late safety car or maybe a crash that happens up there, maybe they just avoid it or something like that, they might be able to take the lead of the championship. So those are just 3 teams that I wanted to mention there of teams that could definitely take the lead of the championship. 2 other teams that need a good result is ADRT and FMSL. Now, FMSL only have 33 points, which is not as much as the other teams, so they need some good points in today's race. ADRT is kind of in the midfield, I'd say, of that. It's kind of they're kind of in the middle there. They have 44 points. They need some good points too. They're pretty close to CPI in terms of points, but they do need some good points in today's race. We will find out how that all works out, but great news. We are getting the lobby underway. We're getting the race underway. No qualifying. We're heading straight into the Grand Prix. Everyone is going to be exactly the same as they were in the qualifying session. So the grid is exactly the same. It's like we never left. The only thing that was different was just a little bit more time. But to be honest, I'm glad we had that time because now you guys are informed on the championship going into the race now. We're going to get a very, very entertaining race. So let's get the race underway here in Russia for Group 1 of Crown E League. Okay, so we are in the loading screen now. We're just waiting for all the players as the little graphic up there on the top left shows. So we're waiting for all the drivers to get their setups in order. They're waiting for all the drivers to get the tires in order as well. Now, that is a critical point. Since we restarted the session and we had those technical difficulties, drivers will need to reload their setup. They'll have to change or put on the tires that they qualified on in the previous session. And so that might take a little bit longer than expected, but it's completely understandable. So while we're in this loading screen, we can talk about turn one. I saw a comment that came in about predictions for the start, the first corner, of course, the first heavy braking zone, of course. So we'll see how that all works out. But yeah, guys, definitely send in some comments down below if you guys have any predictions yourself, if you have any questions for me, and if you guys just want to discuss the upcoming Grand Prix, definitely send in some comments. Would really appreciate that. So let's see how this all works out. I did see a comment that came in a little bit earlier ago that says, I predict a crash in the first corner. Ooh, I mean, to be honest, I could see that happening. We've been talking about this quite a bit, that there could be a crash that comes in at the first corner. Drivers have to make sure that they get it all correct, because if they send it down into turn one, into the first heavy braking zone, they have to play it right, because that corner is so difficult to manage in terms of cornering and just getting out of that corner, that sending it on another driver could affect in a crash. We'll see how that all works out. But yeah, we will see. I'm gonna mistake this each time I say this. Is so hard. I always say that the first heavy braking zone is turn one, but it's actually not. It's turn two. I always get confused with that. I just want to say turn one, but the facts say otherwise. It is turn two. I will continue to say turn two, but yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit I'm gonna be a little unsure about turn two in terms of what corner is what. But we're back. We are getting the racing underway. The formation is about to get underway for the race here today. No lights, but the drivers are going underway. And I have no sound either. What is going on here? Give me 1 minute here. There we go. I have no idea what was going on there. Sometimes the game glitches in terms of sound as well. We have all the glitches here today. But thank goodness I wasn't gonna have to leave the session. We want to get the start of the Grand Prix, so sorry about that little setback there, guys, but we're all good. We're ready to start the Grand Prix here in LFR. It's time to get the racing underway here for the Russian Grand Prix. It's clear skies from the qualifying to the race. We've had very different conditions. So in the qualifying, we had a lot of rain, a lot of dark skies, and look at the onboard from a lot of these drivers. We can see dry skies, we can see dry road, we can see bright sun coming down, so that means we're going to get a very good race. You know, we'll have a lot of action in terms of the race itself. So let's quickly do the rundown of the grid. So NLR start P1 and P2. Epic in the NLR car starts on pole position. Jean in the LFR starts P3 with FMSL in P4. Great to see that as well. NLR also start P5 as well. So the three NLR cars start in the top three. Lucas Supremo in the LFR car starts P6 alongside Hawaii Maeve in the FMSL car. They need a good result in today's race. We'll see how that all works out. NLR's fourth driver in today's race starts P8. So all four of their drivers start in the top 10, which is great to see. Cardozo on the soft compound tire starts P9, with Izo in the ADRT car starting P10. We'll see how this all works out, but we're going to get the race ready to go. The formation is ended. We are ready to go for the Russian Grand Prix here at the Sochi Autodrome. I'm your commentator, Formula Jonah, bringing you all the action from the Group 1 race here at the Crown E-League. The formation is over. It's time to get the racing underway here in Group 1. So, looks like the fiber lights are about to go out for the racing. We're just waiting for those fiber lights to go out. There we go. It's 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light. It's lights out, and away we go for racing here today in Russia. It's a great start for the front two as the two NLR cars go side by side coming down to the first turn. It's a great start for the third place driver of the LFR cars, Jom, who won the last race in Bahrain, is still P3, but trying to challenge as there's the three drivers going side by side down into turn two as a little bit of contact between the three there, as it just wasn't going to work out between three drivers, with the FMSL cars are going side by side with LFR's teams there, as it looks like they are trading position. Cardozo up to P6 already. Great to see that from the soft compound runner, as it looks like a pretty clean start for everyone as they're going three wide down into turn four. That was never going to end out well, as one of the FMSL cars has been spun around, and that is Diza in the FMSL car that's down to P19. Unfortunate to see that, as three were going side by side down into turn five. That was not working out for them, but great start for NLR as all three of their cars are in the top four. They've gained positions. Cardozo is now making a move on Hawaii Mave. Hawaii Mave down to P6 now. Cardozo now into P5 now on the soft compound tires. Those softs really working out for him. And already D Black is up to P8. It looks like Nicholas in the LFR car is up to P9. So great to see that as well. Great start from the ADRT cars as they're up to P8, 10, and 11. As Razorback has left the session, as that is Doozle moving down to P19. What happened to him? It's going quite slowly. I wonder if he has damage. I think a few drivers have damage. Unfortunate to see that. Not the best to start for FMSL, as three drivers are coming into the pit lane for that. And that's not great to see, as only one of the drivers is in the top 10, and that's a Wyomave in P6. But great start for Epic in the NLR car. He's leading us away with Russell in P2. The top three stay exactly as they was. And then we got Giro in the third NLR car in P4. NLR doing a great job in today's race. And then we got Cardozo on the soft compound tires. I really see it as a battle between NLR and LFR in today's race, as a little bit of glitching going on as it shows that Giro's left the session, but I don't think that's the case. If that's the case, that's not great news, of course. He's down to P20. What is going on? We're getting all the glitches in today's race, guys. Apologies for that, but that's the way it goes in racing. Sometimes the game glitches just every once in a while. So anyway, back to the action. It looks like Cardozo is looking to make the move on Giro, who I do believe is still in today's race. It looks like he's all good there. It's just the position graphics are a little bit confusing. Not exactly sure what's going on there. But anyway, D Black is up to P7. I think he made a move on Nikolaus. So he's up to P7. Oh, no. This is still Giro down in P20. It's so confusing, guys. As Razorback has left the session, I think he's having a little bit of technical difficulties there. As it looks like ADRT's D Black is looking to make the move on Lucas Primo, as Russell in the NLR car is looking to make the move on his teammate as well. 610 separating the two NLR cars, as Russell's is trying to make the move on Arepek in the NLR car. Let's see if his teammate's going to try and get past. Now, if I were NLR, I would try and do a little bit of team orders here. Do we think that Arepek is faster than Russell? I think he might be, but I'm not exactly sure. They look to be on similar pace right now. Because the thing is, guys, is that they got Jom and Cardozo right behind as well. Jom, who's won the Bahrain Grand Prix, is looking pretty good, as that is the Black. That is in P12 now, because he has spun at turn 4, if I'm not mistaken. That is D Black off the track. Does he have wing damage? It doesn't look like it, so that's good. But the driver that finished on the podium last time out in Bahrain is down to P12. He has spun it. It has not been the best of days so far for the ADRT driver. He is still in P12 though, so that's okay, and he is on the back of this long DRS train down to P11. From 1st to 11th, we have a DRS train. That is insane. But it looks like, where are we right now? I think we have Lucas Primo on Hawaii Mave. And right now I'm still confused because I have no idea what's going on with Giro, who's down in P20, but he's actually in P4 right now. It is so confusing to know what positions everyone is in. Hopefully that will correct itself in the next few minutes. Hopefully that will be good. I hope it will be. We'll see how it all works out. Cardozo looking to make the move on Giro, though, as Cardozo is just at the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Those softs really working out for him right now. Now, in terms of strategy, you guys are probably wondering, what is the strategy for around here? It is going to be definitely a one-stop. For Cardozo, it is soft to medium, most definitely. And for the medium runners, it is a medium to soft. Now, when do these drivers do pit? You can take the softs from 13 laps. You can definitely take the softs from 13 laps to the end. Quite surprising, I know, but it is definitely possible. But for these drivers, I'd push it all the way to around 16 laps, I'd say. I think 11 laps on the soft tires is a good enough laps for the soft. So I think drivers can definitely push it to around 17 laps. I think that's where they're going to be going for, because the mediums can go long. That's how that goes. And of course, they want to stay out as long as possible in case of a safety car as well. So not a lot of overtakes right now, and this is because we're in a DRS train. And what that means, guys, if you're unfamiliar with what a DRS train is, basically everyone's got DRS, so they all have basically equal pace, and so they can't get past. But here's actually Russell trying to make the move on his teammate. Here we go for the race lead. They're side by side. Make sure to keep it clean. Do not hit your teammate. That's the golden #1 rule. As we get an onboard with Jum, side by side is the two teammates. Russell stays behind, but that has allowed Jum to now close up to the back of Russell and Arebek. Now, remember, these two, while they are teammates, they are also battling for the race win. They both want to get a race victory in today's race, but they have to make sure that they're fighting, and if they're fighting, they have to make sure they hold back Jum, who's in P3, so we'll see how that all works out. By the way, Hawaii with Maeve did make the move on Cardozo, I do believe, but Cardozo's coming back as Russell's making the move on Arebek as well, and Russell is up into P1 as Cardozo and Hawaii with Maeve swap positions as well. Hawaii with Maeve under threat now from Lucas Supremo, who's now trying to get in the fight as well. Hawaii Maeve right on the back of the LFR driver, 1/10 behind the LFR driver. I wonder if Cardozo's tires are just dropping back a touch there. Not exactly sure, but Hawaii Maeve got a much better exit out of that corner, but decides to back off. He does not go for the move, which is very interesting. By the way, the two LFR drivers of Nicolas and Lucas Supremo have swapped positions there, which is very surprising. And now Isaac in the ADRT car is now trying to make a move on Lucas Supremo, and they make a little bit of contact as well. Lucas Supremo was a little slow off that section of the corner. Looks like he made a little mistake into turn 9, but the ADRT driver is going to try and go for the switchback maneuver. Coming down into turn 11 we go through the DRS as Isaac's going to try and make the move on Lucas Supremo, and he's got the move on the LFR driver. There's a little bit of contact between the second ADRT car and Lucas Supremo, as Izo's now going to try and make the move on Lucas Supremo. He's got the move. I wonder if Lucas just has a little bit of damage to his car. Kind of seems that way. So Arebek in the NLR car is now trying to get past Russell, his teammate, but Russell is absolutely flying right now. I think NLR want Russell in P1 right now, but Arebek is not going to give this position up anytime soon, so let's see if he can try and make the overtake. And we still have the second, or the third actually, the third NLR car down in P20, but he's currently, I do believe, in P5, I'd say? Where is he on track? He is P4. I do believe he is in P4. That's a little confusing, guys. Sorry about that. Not exactly sure. Yeah, you can see him right there. There he is. Giro in P4, I do believe. You can see the top 3 right there, but he says he's in P20. No idea what's going on there. Hope that gets fixed in the next few minutes, but we'll find out. Here comes Arebek in the NLR car on his teammate. So let's see how this works out. He's closing. He's going to try and make the overtake down into turn 13. He's going to try and set it on his teammate. No, he is not. Russell keeps ahead, keeps that position going as Hawaii Maeve and Cardozo swap positions as well. Hawaii Maeve got past on the DRS straight. Cardozo now down to P5. His teammate, Nicolaus, is now in P6 now, right behind Cardozo. Now they're on the same tires as well. Same with Isaac as well in the ADRT car, as that is the two LFR drivers swapping positions there. That is Nicolas in P5 now, and Cardozo in P6 now. That is very surprising, and actually they're in P6 and P7. It's still confusing, guys, with the NLR car down in P20, but we have a move from Epic on Russell. I didn't really catch that on cams, but Russell's gonna try and fight this one back. He's 1/10 behind his teammate. He's so close to the back of that NLR car. Coming down into turn 4 we go. Who's gonna get ahead? It is Epic that gets ahead of his teammate for now. Keep an eye on Jom as well in the LFR car. He's right behind Russell in today's race. Now, if these two keep fighting, I think LFR are telling their driver, if these two keep fighting, then just make the move when you see the opportunity to do so. I think LFR is telling John, maybe just stick behind, conserve those tires a little bit more, then just make sure you're still in that gap, and then go for the move when the move presents itself. I think he's not in a position to make the move quite yet, because these two are kind of still battling it out for P1 in today's race. But if I were LFR, I would just, with John, I would just try and keep behind Russell and Epic as much as possible, but don't make the move quite yet. Let them fight it out, and then when the move presents itself, if they make a little mistake, then Jean might be able to make that overtake. We will find out how that all works out, as there is a yellow flag down in turn 4. Is that Duzley or is that the Black? The Black down to P17. He recently pit though onto the fresh new set of medium compound tires. It has not been the best of the day for De Black here, but he's looking to get a good result. And I think he should be able to make it to the end of the Grand Prix, because he started on softs, I do believe, and is now on mediums. I'm not exactly sure on that. But here comes Russell on his teammate, back up to the fight for P1 in today's race. Epic keeping ahead of his teammates. So the driver that started on pole position stays in pole position, stays in P1, and continues to lead the Russian Grand Prix. As we have Nicholas and Hawaii Maeve side by side through turn 3. Charles Leclerc and Kevin Magnussen move right here in 2018. Who's going to get ahead? Is Hawaii Maeve or Nicolaus? They're coming down into turn 4. Oh, and there's contact between the two there. Hawaii Maeve is spun around. Nicholas in the LFR car keeps ahead, but there was contact between the two, and that is Hawaii Maeve down to P10. Oh, that is super unfortunate for the FMSL car, as now he's moved down to P10. Oh dear, not the best of a race for FMSL right now. But Hawaii Maeve is coming back, as that is one of the FMSL cars that is off the track and out of the Grand Prix. That is a VSC that has been called out. And what happened to the FMSL car? Is that, where is that at? Is that, oh, that's at the, what happened there? Did he crash out? Maybe he got too close to the wall and maybe just hit the curb and then his tire came off and he just went straight into the wall? Not exactly sure. But that means that a full course safety car is out on track, and this has changed the race completely now, because now Nicholas and Cardozo most likely, and Isaac as well, all three of these guys will most likely come into the pit lane for the soft compound tires. So this will be great to see. We will find out how this all works out. But everyone is into the pit lane. Every single person is into the pits in the top 7. Wow, that is actually really surprising. To be honest, I was thinking Russell and Epic are the two race leaders on the medium compound tires. They were going to the end of the, they were going to another safety car period to pit onto the softs. But they've decided to pit very early, and Russell and Epic have gone for the soft compound tires. That is extremely surprising. Jean's gone for the hards. Wow. Okay. Very surprising, to be honest. So let's debrief this. Let's go over this. Epic and Russell have gone for the soft compound tires. The question is, will they have to pit again? Most likely, they'll probably have to pit again, because I don't think those tires can make it to the end of the race. I mean, tires can most likely go to the soft tires can go to the end of the race, probably from lap 12. That's probably I think if, the thing is, guys, is that tire wear for around this track isn't too bad, but the softs cannot last. I don't think they can last from lap 9 on to the end of the Grand Prix. It's a really risky situation there. So, most likely, Epic and Russell will have to pit again. Unless I know something that, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe there's some rain coming at the end of the race. Let me know, guys, if there is any rain or some sort of thing that I'm missing out here. Because I don't see the possibility here. But wow, I mean, safety car just allowed for everyone to come into the pit lane. That was perfect for everyone, especially I think the two LFR drivers, Nicholas and Cardozo. So Nicholas and Cardozo both pit from their soft compound tires. Same with Isaac as well. All three were on the softs and now pit for the mediums. That's really worked out for them, actually. in their strategy, they'll definitely go to the end of the Grand Prix. Now, another driver we should talk about is Jum, who won the last race in Bahrain. We know is very, very talented, but right now, I don't see his strategy working out. To be honest, I mean, hard tires are the preferable option right now, but the hards aren't that fast around this track, unless Jum is able to do a masterclass of his pace on those hard compound tires. He might be able to do so, to be honest. We know how quick Jum is. We know how talented he is. He's got the pace to do so. So I think Jum might be able to just take advantage of those hard compound tires and make sure he just pushes on them as much as possible. But he's going to have to make sure he keeps up with those soft runners. Because if this is the strategy that he's going for, he's going to have to make sure he keeps up with those soft runners, which is a very difficult task, especially with a difference in tire wear and a difference in tire pace in terms of LFR and NLR. So let's see how this works out. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm very surprised by the decision from a few of these drivers here. But I bet you these guys have a strategy that I think we're overlooking here. Because the thing is, Jum might be able to just take use of those hards. Because when I put on the hards around this track, I'm not too good. And to be honest, I'm not that best of a driver. But when I put on the hards, they aren't that great in terms of tire grip. The grip on the tires are just not as good as Nathan just got a 5-second time penalty for collision with Lucas Primo. What happened there? Is there damage between the two? Lucas Primo doesn't seem to have any damage. Does CPI Nathan have any damage? Doesn't look like it. No, I do believe he does not have damage, so that's good there, but he does have that 5-second penalty. I don't know what that was all about there. I think the drivers, or the stewards, sorry, will take a look at that incident, most likely. But that does mean that Lucas Primo, or sorry, Nathan, JB, will have to pit for, when he does come into the pit lane. He'll have to serve that 5-second penalty. That is unfortunate for the CPI car, as he's going to lose 5 seconds there. So very interesting there. So yeah, Jum, let's talk about him again. On the hards, he started on the medium compound tires. He's going medium hard in today's race. But is that the best strategy? To be honest, I mean, the hards haven't treated me very well for around here, but maybe Jum is just going to take advantage of the hard compound tires. Maybe he'll be able to find some pace that is not really there. I mean, he's able to do it. I think he's got the potential to do it. So we'll see how this all works out. But Hida is going to lead us away for CPI. He has stayed out alongside NLR and CPI cars. So 2 CPI cars stayed out, and another of the NLR cars stayed out as well. So Willie in the NLR car stayed out, Snell in the CPI car stayed out, and Hida in the CPI car stayed out. So all 3 stayed out. They're going medium soft. They're sticking with that strategy here, but they might cause a little bit of chaos, to be honest, for Erepic, Russell, Jum, all the rest of the drivers that are battling for P1 in today's race. They're going to have to overtake these 3. So we're going to get some overtaking. I think we're going to get a lot of overtaking in today's race. The second half of the race will be a very entertaining one. So we'll see how this all works out. And where is Giro? He is right behind Jum, and I think he is P7 right now. I'm having to multitask in terms of trying to figure out where Giro right now is. Not exactly sure what's going on with that. I think that's a glitch on the spectator screen. Unfortunate to see that, of course. So we'll just have to kind of do a little bit of math in terms of trying to figure out where Giro is on track. But I think we know exactly where he is on track. So good there. We move on. We are 11 laps into the Group 1 race here at the Crown E-League. This is round 2 of the championship event at the Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi Autodrome. A very, very interesting track. It has provided some great racing, I think. In the past, in 2021, we had that great battle in real life with Lando Norris. I think that was all... I think Lando Norris really saved the Russian Grand Prix this year. I think it would have not been the best of races in terms of that if Lando Norris did not score pole position. That was a crazy Grand Prix when we had Sainz in P2, and then we had Russell in P3. I cannot believe that. I keep forgetting that he scored P3 in a Williams. For the second time, he scored a top 3 start this year. That's incredible. But yeah, and of course, the Russian Grand Prix will be moving to Agora Park in 2020. 2023, I do believe. I have to be corrected on that one there. It'll be moving to St. Petersburg for the Russian Grand Prix. So we will be leaving the Sochi Autodrome, but I am excited for the Agora Park. It will be a great race. But it looks like the safety car is coming in this lap. It should be coming in this lap. No, it's not. It's not coming in this lap. How is it not coming? This has been the third lap of the safety car. How is that not coming in? That is extremely surprising. What is everyone's been backed up. What is going on here? I have no idea what the safety car is doing right now. But this does mean we're going to get another lap of the safety car. A lot of glitches in today's race, to be honest. But all good there. I think we should get the safety car in at the end of this lap. It's only been 3 laps, so maybe it was just delayed. I'm assuming it's delayed because it looks like one of the FMSL cars was a little bit further back, so maybe that's what happened there. Not exactly sure, though. Maybe one driver was just a little too far back. Maybe the safety car just said, oh, he's too far back or something like that. I don't know exactly, but we'll see how this all works out. We'll see at the end of this lap what the safety car, if it goes in or not. So we will find out how that works out. As Hawaii Maeve gets a 5-second time penalty with contact with Izo. What happened there? Let's take a look at this. Is there any damage between the two there? It looks like Hawaii Maeve has got no damage. It doesn't look like Izo's got damage as well, but that doesn't mean Hawaii Maeve now has a 5-second time penalty. It has not been the best of days for FMSL here today, as one of the cars is out and 3 other cars are below the top 10, which is not where they want to be, I guess. But of course, there are new tires. They're going to be challenging the field. I think they'll be closing up to the rest of the field quite soon. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, so we should be getting the information on if the safety car is coming in this lap. We will find out in just a moment's time. Let's ride on board with Hida, and we'll exactly see if the safety car is going in this lap. Hida, going into the left-hand side. I think he's wanting to get this race underway. As I think everyone is wanting to get this race underway. Is the safety car coming in? Oh, dear. No, it is not. It is not coming in this lap. This is the 4th lap of the safety car. I think this is glitched, guys. I think this is glitched. Oh, no. No way. Not another glitch. We've had a lot of glitches in today's lobby. We've had to leave the session. We've had the glitch with Giro down in P20. And now this glitch as well. Unfortunate to see this. I don't know if this will be resolved. I hope this will be resolved. As this is going to be the 4th lap of the safety car. But we will see how this works out, as it looks like, no moving between the two, so all good. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. I hope we won't have to restart. That is NLR Giro, who has left the session. He is down in P20, I think he's actually in P5, P7, I think he's in P7. But he's left the session. And it says he's 2 laps behind. I wonder if that is exactly maybe that's the reason why the safety car has happened, as D Black has left the session. I think we might be doing another restart, guys. I'm not exactly sure though, but wow, oh dear, this has been a very, very difficult race in terms of the glitches. I feel for the admins, as this happens all the time in racing, and of course we have to understand that these things do happen. As D Black was disqualified, I do believe he is out of the session already. I think we might be ending this Grand Prix, and there's a possibility that the safety car could go in at the end of this lap. If it does not, most likely we will restart this Grand Prix by maybe doing like a 25% race, or we might stop the Grand Prix and give half points. That's possibly what we might do. I saw a comment that came in down in the live stream here that mentioned that as well. That would be a great idea, to be honest. Kind of what the Belgian Grand Prix was like in 2021. It's not the ideal circumstances, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So we'll see what the admins decide on this particular occasion here today. Couldn't think of the right word there, to be honest. But yeah, I think what will most likely happen is that we'll take the points. If this race is going to restart, we'll take the points of what happened before the safety car got underway. So it looks like and Hit has been disqualified. Oh no. Oh no, Hit has been okay, I think we're going to be either restarting this or we're going to be canceling the Grand Prix. Hit was disqualified. Oh my goodness, what drama here today. Oh, this has not been the best of an end to the Grand Prix. But if we do cancel this Grand Prix, we'll take the points of what was going on in the before the safety car came out. So that means most likely a Repic will win the Grand Prix with Russell in P2 and Jom in P3. That's what I'm thinking here. If we do cancel the Grand Prix, it most likely will be that situation there. We will find out. Maybe a lead change affected the safety car. I don't think that's the case, but maybe we can try something. Now this would be a great situation if the spectator could take control of the safety car. So in this case, me, and then I'll just drive the safety car into a wall and then get the race underway. That's the way to do this, guys. This is the way to do this, is to get the safety car to drive away. But oh my goodness, guys, this has been difficult. I wonder though if a lead change might enable the safety car to go in this lap. I don't think that's the case, but it's possible. I'm just thinking in terms of what the actual coding is. I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea what this is going to be like. I'm just waiting for a cue from the admins. We will see what happens. We're halfway into the Grand Prix, and it looks like we're going to be restarting this Grand Prix or canceling the Grand Prix, and maybe scoring half points, kind of what we did in Belgium. So we'll get an exact answer onto what this will be in just a moment time. But oh dear, chaos here today in the Group 1 race, as it looks like NLR might score a... Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, I think we're definitely canceling or restarting this Grand Prix. Oh my goodness, there's absolutely chaos out on track as everyone has dive bombed each other into the start of that. So that is going to be it, I do believe. Unless... Yeah, I think that is it for everyone out on track. It's just chaos now as everyone's just kind of having fun right here. So the safety car has messed things up, unfortunately. That is super unfortunate, as that looks to be it, I think. I think that might be it from the race here in Group 1, unless we're restarting this or canceling this. Let us find out. I will get more information on that. Give me 1 minute here. These are different circumstances, guys. So apologies for what's happened with the game. Of course, it's, oh my goodness, guys, it's unfortunate. It's so hard to deal with this, you know, with the game glitching out and about. But let me get some quick information on what's going to be happening, and then we'll go from there. So give me one moment here. Okay, so I've just received information. We are canceling the Grand Prix. I do believe we'll be scoring points from possibly right before the safety car. So everyone that was in their positions right before the safety car, that's how the points will be scored. So the podium right here doesn't really matter because it's not really what really happened. So I do believe it will be NLR taking 1-2 in the Grand Prix, and it will be Jum in P3. I don't know how the point system is going to work. It will be half points like the Belgian Grand Prix in 2021. We don't know, but that is unfortunate to see this race ending, of course, so early on. It had so much to offer, of course, but that's the cancellation. That's going to be a cancellation of the race. So the results right here don't really matter. It is going to be a Repic that wins the Russian Grand Prix. It is going to be Russell in P2, and it's going to be Jum in P3. Hope that cleared everything up, guys. But I do believe that is going to be it from the Russian Grand Prix. Unfortunate to see that, of course, it ends so early on, but nothing we can really do. That's how it goes in racing sometimes. But only thing that can, to be honest, the only thing we can blame here is the game. The game really didn't give us a good race, I'd say, in terms of the glitches and stuff like that. But that's the way it goes. That's how life works. We will move on. We'll move on to the Spanish Grand Prix. We'll have more information on what the championship is going to be like at the next one. But that looks to be it of it here today. So I think that is going to be it, guys. I think that's going to be the end of the stream here today. And I think we're going to end everything off. So, real quickly, before you go, I'll let you guys know what the next race is going to be. I said it was Spain. It is not Spain. It is going to be the Chinese Grand Prix. We're going to be heading all the way over to China, in just off the Pacific Ocean, of course, for the Chinese Grand Prix, the Shanghai International Circuit. That'll be great to see that race, as I love the Chinese Grand Prix. It's an amazing race. So, that'll be very, very much entertaining. But sorry to cut this one short, guys, but that's the way it goes in racing. Thank you so much for watching on kind of unexpected Grand Prix, I'd say. I think everyone will be wanting everyone would be wanting a better race, but that's the way it goes in racing. So anyway, we move on. We will see you all at the Chinese Grand Prix next time out. That'll be round 3 of the Group 1 Championship event. I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator for today. Thank you to all that joined us through unique but kind of unfortunate Grand Prix, of course, in terms of the events that happened. But like I said many times, that's the way it goes. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to see more racing content on the Crown E League. Like this video if you enjoyed it. And let's move on to the next one at the Chinese Grand Prix. So I'm Formula Jonah, signing off from Crown E League. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.